Hey, what's happening, everybody? Keith Moments in full color, and today I want to tell you all about my experience at Northeast Championships 19, King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. As a lot of you may know, I went to a tournament down there to play in Soul Calibur 6. Did not go as well as I thought it would, as I wanted it to, anyways. But I learned a lot. I definitely did. So for anyone who may be interested in doing something like this, it's kind of hard to figure out how to do this type of thing. So I want to tell you how to do it. There's a site, smash.gg. I'll have it linked in the description. On there, you can set up a profile, and at that point, you can let me find a match for us. You can go in there, you can make a profile, and after you make that profile, you can search through the Find Tournaments button, or on the left hand side of the channel on the page, they'll have a Find Tournaments button over there as well. It has like a little calendar next to it. So once you do that, you can then filter that out by region. They have a lot of filters for tournaments by game, by how close it is to you, etc. After you do that, if you find a tournament that you're liking, that you're interested in, click on it. It should give you more information. Fill out that information if you want to join it. And then after that, click on you have to pay a fee. So after you pay the fee, you're all set. And the tournaments, you can actually do tournaments in Japan if you really wanted to through this site. Pretty good site. So after you get through all that, you register for your tournament. You know where you're playing at. Now you got to prep. For me, from what I've learned through this process, the best way to prep is to play online and to lose. First things first, so you do got to find a main character. So you want to find your main. You want to go in there with your main, learn what you can learn, see what works, what doesn't. And after that, you kind of want to take that online, take that for a test drive, see if what you learn works or doesn't work. If it doesn't work, go back to training, figure it out, go back online, see if it works. Online is riddly. Online is going to be where you see where this works out at. So that's where you want to be at in terms of prep. Find your main. If you have time, you can then make your alt. So my main is Grow. I only took the time to learn Grow. I didn't take time to really do much else. So that's really where you want to be at with that. And after you do all of that, after you go online and you lose and you lose and you lose, because you're gonna only get better through losing. That's all I can say to you. You're going to learn what your character is good with, what they're not good with, etc. And that's the best prep you could possibly do for this tournament. That's it. Learn your combos, your bread and butters, all that stuff. Once you got your character down, you prepped enough online. I will say before this, though, for me personally, I didn't want to burn out. I didn't want this to turn into a job. So I will also say take breaks. Don't just play for 10 hours a day before a tournament. For me anyways, that just doesn't make it fun. It then turns into a job. Do other things, come back to it. Some days are going to be bad days. You're going to come online, you're going to get wrecked left and right. Sometimes you just got to walk away, leave it alone. You're just having an off day. Come back another day, prep, go back in the lab, go back in the dojo. Now after you do that, you want to arrive at your tournament. Luckily for me, I have a good friend named B. You guys seen him in a video, in the Destiny one. But he lives out in Philly, so I was able to crash there and use that as a go-between. And as that happened, I was able to, make it to my tournament. I got there about an hour early. And it was kind of not very organized. Not to trash the organizers, but they were a little unorganized. My pool got started an hour and 15 minutes late, I believe. So just know that sometimes tournaments, they'll give you a time, but it may not be the time of your tournament time, your start. So just go in. I made a playlist on my phone. I just listened to music. I was kind of antisocial. There are going to be a lot of people, a lot. And a lot of times they're in small enclosed spaces. And hopefully it's something that you're okay with, just being in a clustered room of people. It also kind of sucks because you'll see a lot of people who are sponsored. They're wearing jerseys. They're with their teammates. you'll see other people. They kind of got like these little cliques that are going on, and you're gonna be able to tell who's in whose clique. So ultimately, I say just try to get there a little early, and for every station there should be a person who is running that station. So I was in pool B3. There's a little sign, it said Soul Calibur pool number 3, and all threes went there. So if you were A3, B3, C3, D3, etc., you reported to that person. So you go to that person, boom, you run, you get that person, you check in with them. Sometimes they'll tell you like, hey, I'm not doing check-in for pool B3 or C3 right now, come back to me later, if they're running the A's at that moment. So just touch base with them, boom, all right, you need me to come back? Okay, or I can check in now. Figure all your stuff out when you can, and then I would say go watch other people, because other people are going to watch you. One thing that I learned through playing, when I got my time, there are people who crowded around me, and every match I played, there are people who crowded around me and my opponent, and it wasn't more so to, I think, to really watch and be entertained by what you're doing. It's to scout you out, because right now you're food on the menu. Like, everybody's trying to eat, and everybody is on the menu. You're on that menu too. So there's at least 10K on the line at this particular tournament. So right now everybody wants that bag. Everybody's going for it. So it's one thing, like I said, there are a lot of people in this room. There are a lot of people trying to see what you do, but you gotta tune all that out. You cannot be bothered. And if you're someone who's easily bothered by noises, by a lot of things, make sure you bring headphones that you plug in, either to your controller or whatever, but make sure you have some type of headphones that cancel out noise if noise bothers you a whole lot. Because people are gonna be chattering around you. People are chatting around me like, oh, like, he's trash, he's not using bar. And that can rattle you. Like, when you play online, you don't gotta hear these people, but when you're at a tournament, there are people talking, trying to throw you off. The person you're playing, their teammates might be right behind you talking. And it's something that you have to learn to either, you have to tune it out or wear headphones that hopefully are loud enough to the point where you can't hear anything going on around you, so it doesn't bother you. You also should be aware of your surroundings. There are a lot of people walking around, moving around you. You gotta tune that out too. It is annoying. There were a few times that I had to deal with someone brushing me, or my opponent actually in one of my sets. He had pulled some bad luck. A guy was walking behind him with his fight stick, and the joystick part hit him right in the back of the head. And I ended up winning the match, probably off of that. I really didn't feel great about winning that, but we had a good set regardless of that. My next big tip is make sure you do your button check. So when you get in there, it is customary, because you have a lot of people playing on this PlayStation, on this PC, whatever it may be, and they altered the button setup for P1, P2. So you want to get in there and ensure that your button check is good. My first game, I lost purely off of I messed my button check up. I thought the buttons were pretty much all set except for two. Two buttons were swapped, and it just messed me up horribly. So ensure that your button check is good before you start the match, and take your time with it. Don't try to rush too much with it. I made the mistake. I was very nervous. It was my first match ever, and I just really messed it up. So do your best not to mess up your button check, because that can make or break. And once you say you're good with your button check, there is no going back. There is no, oh, I messed up my button check. Nah, that set started. You gotta make do with it. So after that, try to stay cool throughout the match. Like I said, there's gonna be a lot of stuff going on around you. You may lose around real bad. You may think the person you played is real spammy and scummy. Do your best to stay cool, stay calm, and just work out. Just look at the pattern, see what they're doing that's bothering you, and try to figure it out and get around it. This is not the time to get upset. This is not the time to let little things make you play out of character and abandon your game plan. Stick with your game plan, adapt, do what you gotta do, but do not try to get too out of character and do things that normally aren't you. Just do your best, and at the end of the day, look, just remember that this is a game. So that this is something that should be purely fun. Yes, there are sponsors here. Yes, if you do well enough, a sponsor may see you and say like, hey, I want to pick you up. For those who don't know who sponsors are, base definition. There are people who are willing to basically pay for your flight, your hotel, your whatever, so that you can go and play in tournaments. Of course, there are give and take. That would take a whole nother video to really explain why sponsors are cool. And you're going to see a lot of distracting things here. So there's a guy dressed up as a hot dog who was playing. That was his thing. He wanted to throw his opponents off by dressing up like a hot dog. And it threw some people off. Some people, I could tell, they just were not okay with playing against a hot dog. You had one guy who was dressed up like a chicken. You just got weird people all around. That's another thing you really gotta watch out for. It's just not being distracted, you know, not letting their, you know, their looks or whatever, what have you. Don't let that bother you. Like I said, you're there to work out, do your thing. But this is just a game at the end, so win, lose, or draw. At this, get better with this. That's all there is to it. And if I lose, guess what? I probably learned some stuff, and I'm gonna get better from this. So. For me, I went 2-1. I went 1-2. I won 1, lost 2. So, you're gonna get some weird comments there. My weird story, and I will leave it with that, is, there was a guy who I played my first game in losers. So I lost my first game. Went to play a guy in losers. He and I were talking for a second, and you know, I'm like, oh, my first tournament. He's like, yo, it's my first tournament too. So we kind of have like this weird moment. And after the game, you know, I win, and he's like, yo, man, that was a really good grow. I'm loving your grow, by the way. Oh yeah, man, your chin strap's real cool. And I was like, is that like lingo? And I was confused and baffled. I was like, yo, what are you talking about, chin strap? He's like, yo, man, your chin strap, man, it's real nice cut, man. I like the way you got that. And it was super weird. I'd be like, yo, game manager guy, please. I need my next opponent right now. Please get this guy away from me. Super weird. Go on some weird people. I can't tell you that enough. There will be a clip of some noise that was made and all that, and you'll see it. But all in all, ultimately, this is a cool experience. I probably will do this again. Partially because I wasn't happy with losing the way I did to button check, and I barely lost my last set. So I wasn't really happy with that. I know I could have did better. But my first tournament, and it was a major, 255 people in the Soul Calibur by itself. There were well over 100 people in Tekken, and there were just so many people there in that one room. And dealing with all of that, and I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I think I did okay. I could have done much better, and I'm not content with the way I did, but I think it was okay. So all in all, if you're interested, go to smash.gg, description, look for that there. Click that, make your profile, look around and see if any tournaments interest you. There are all sorts of tournaments, so just take a look if you're really interested in that type of thing. But I think personally I had a good time. And it's not something like I just told you, I am going to try this again. So, and hopefully have better results. I think that about covered it. So thank you guys for watching. Thanks for anyone who wished me luck. A couple of you did. Thank you all for wishing me luck on the tournament. I actually really appreciated that. So hopefully next time I'll have better news for you all. If you like this, if you thought this was helpful, please hit that subscription. God, I always do this. Hit that subscription button, that notification button. I appreciate you. All right, y'all, be easy and stay blessed out there. Peace.